Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to my channel. My name is Alona Umakuro, and I am here to share with you my journey on how I became a successful part-time notary signing agent. So, if you've stumbled across my channel, chances are you've been doing some research and video searches about becoming a notary signing agent, and more specifically, being a part-time notary signing agent. Now, here at my channel, I will share with you my journey on how I became a part-time notary signing agent here in the state of North Carolina, which is an attorney state. But even if you're not in an attorney state, a lot of the content may be beneficial to you, especially if you're new in the research phases of trying to become a notary signing agent. So stick around. I've got some really great content planned for you in future videos. I even have some interviews with some very successful notary signing agents planned and can't wait to get them on board. Trust me, you do not want to miss those nuggets of information from these amazing women who are very successful in their field. And I'm honored that one of those people is one of my mentors. So they will be dropping some knowledge. So you definitely want to stick around for that. Hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss those videos when they come out. But for today, we're going to start from the very beginning. Just in case you're fresh out of the box, just getting into this, just starting to research this, and you're like, what does it mean to start from scratch? This is scratch right here, this video. So I'm going to be helping you out today with that. So first of all, what is a notary signing agent? You may have heard the term notary signing agent, loan signing agent. What do they mean? Well, basically, a notary signing agent is a notary commissioned in whatever state you're commissioned in with specialized training in executing notarial certificates for loan documentation. So you might ask, what's the difference? What's the difference between a notary signing agent and a loan signing agent? Basically, the terms are used interchangeably. My personal preference is I use the words notary signing agent because I never want any of my signers to get the misrepresentation that I am a loan officer or I have any type of control or authority over their loan. I am there as the notary to notarize their signatures and to witness their signatures on documents and to just help them through the signing process. When it comes to figures on their loan and things like that, I don't want to use any terminology to give them that idea. Disclaimer, I do have a paralegal background, and anyone who is a paralegal who have taken paralegal studies knows that it is drilled into you. You do not want to do any type of unauthorized practice of law. You don't do unauthorized practice of law. You do not do unauthorized practice of law. So that is drilled into me as well. So I'm very cautious and very particular about making sure that I never cross that line. You don't want to get in trouble with your state's bar by someone saying that you advise them or ill-advise them or advise them in any type of way with these documents. And presenting yourself as a loan signing agent, some signers, I've heard stories from other people, may get that idea that you have some type of position that you control certain aspects of their loan. And I make that very clear. I let them know exactly what my role is when I'm there. So that's just my personal preference. If you want to call yourself a loan signing agent, that's totally up to you. Just sharing with you my experience. Your mileage may vary. So, how do you become a notary signing agent? Number one, the first thing you got to do is you got to be a notary. Now, if you're not a notary already, how do you become a notary? You can take a class at your local community college. Most community colleges have that class. It's usually no more than a couple of days. Now, some states don't require that you take a class to become a notary. Here in North Carolina, it is required. You do have to have a certain amount of training um, to get the basics of what notary law is and know what you can do and what you can't do. And you're also required to purchase the your state's notary manual here in North Carolina, and most states do have a manual that they do require you to purchase as well. And I would advise anyone who's going to become a notary to familiarize yourself with that book. If your state requires you to take training, please by all means take it. If your state doesn't require you to take training, Google the NNA. Look up the National Notary Association. They do have an online training that covers basic general notary work and teaches you how to properly execute notary certificates. That is fundamental in this industry. And that's something that even if you take loan signing document or notary signing document training courses, they may not go into that as in depth as you may need them to if you're totally green to being a notary. So you definitely want to educate yourself on being a notary first, um, and getting familiar with how to properly execute notarial certificates and know your state's laws definitely before going any further. So once you become a notary, you got your notary stamp, and you are commissioned in your state. You're ready to do more training to, you know, go down that path to becoming a successful notary signing agent. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to look for some training. There are several training programs out there. Just do a Google search. You will get a plethora of different trainings. And most of them will give you an indication of what their training is and give you an indication of what they offer. So the training that you'll want to look for is depending on what you need. Like I just told you, I have a paralegal background. And one of the courses that I had to take when I was taking paralegal studies was real estate law. So I was familiar with a lot of the terms. Do you have to have the same experience I do to do this job? No, you don't. Did it help me? Yeah, I think it probably did. So with that said, someone who has a background in, the mortgage industry may take a course geared more toward marketing. And someone who's totally green, never been a notary before, this is their first time being a notary, they may take a course geared more toward learning the documents and learning how to execute those certificates. So it's all dependent on what you need. The NNA has some courses. There are some other people out there with some courses. And in a future video, I'll share what course I personally took. I'll let you know about that in a future video. Also, you're gonna wanna learn that. And the question that I get most is, should I do this part-time? Should I do this full-time? Can I do it part-time until I figure out if I want to do it full-time? Can I do this part-time and keep my full-time job? And the answer to that question is it's totally dependent on you. That's what's so great about this industry, is that it's totally flexible. Now, I will say that I do this part-time. That doesn't make me any less qualified than anybody who does it full-time. Just because you do it part-time, if you decide to do this part-time, it doesn't negate the need for you to learn your state laws, for you to learn how to properly execute notarial certificates, for you to know your state's manual. You still have to do all of that. So you still work just as hard as anybody who does it full-time. In this industry, you still have to put in the work. and I'm just as dependable, just as reliable as anybody who does it full time. And I pay particular attention to detail. And that's really what this job requires. If you're a novice and you're, don't feel intimidated because you feel like, oh, I don't have a background in the mortgage industry. I'm not familiar with those terms. That's okay. You can learn them. What you do need to do though is you do need to have the type of work ethic where you pay a very close attention to detail, and that you're willing to put into work to learn your state's laws and mandates. That requires a little bit of effort, and if you're the type of person you can do that, you can implement procedure and follow guidelines, this is going to be a piece of cake for you. If you're not a very detail oriented person, that's something you're going to want to have to work at to be successful in this industry. So, those are my little tidbits. That's a little introduction as to who I am and what my channel's about. I can't wait to get to know you better. I can't wait for you to get to know me better. I can't wait for you to see some of these interviews that I got coming up in some future videos. And I'm going to be bringing you lots of content. Cannot wait. I am ready for this YouTube journey. And thank you for joining me on my very first video. I hope that we have many, many more together. And like I said, so that you don't miss those little nuggets of information that are going to be dropped, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Again, my name is Alona Umakuro. I'm so glad that you tuned in with me for this video. Please stay tuned for more.